Currently, an estimated 7.2 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. That's about 1 in 9 people aged 65 and older, and approximately 200,000 people under 65. But it doesn't have to be this way. This presentation is going to show you how providers are improving cognition and reversing decline, while adding to their practice's bottom line. Across the country, practitioners like you face tough conversations every day, explaining to patients and their families that the memory loss and cognitive decline they're experiencing are likely to worsen. You might offer the standard treatments, aware that they may slow the progression slightly, but won't significantly alter the course of decline. That conversation is about to change dramatically. Today, I'm going to share with you a comprehensive, evidence-based approach that addresses the root causes of cognitive decline rather than just managing symptoms. We know there are no shortcuts, and this isn't one either. Shortcuts in most available drugs simply mask symptoms or slow decline. Instead, this is about addressing and fundamentally changing the root issue. It's about a methodical, personalized approach developed through decades of research by Dr. Dale Bredesen, and now available for practitioners like you to implement in your own practice. Over the next 20 minutes, I'll show you exactly how health practitioners across the country are helping patients with cognitive decline, building thriving practices, and becoming leaders in one of the most important health challenges of our time. Make sure to pay close attention to the protocol in our thesis. If you get nothing else out of this, I promise that you'll connect the dots on why it's possible to do more than just slow the decline. "30 years ago, Dr. Bredesen and his team began research to determine the fundamental nature of neurodegeneration, with the hope of translating the laboratory results into the first effective treatment for cognitive decline. In 2014, that research culminated in reporting the first reversals of cognitive decline in patients with Alzheimer's disease and pre-Alzheimer's, also known as mild cognitive impairment, or MCI. Since then, hundreds of patients have demonstrated documented, sustained improvement. The Bredesen protocol isn't about managing decline. It's about improvement. It's about transforming the entire conversation around Alzheimer's and cognitive impairment. Here's what one practitioner said after implementing the protocol in their practice. "Adding the RECODE protocol to my practice has been transformative, not just for my patients, but for my entire approach to medicine. For the first time, I can offer real hope and see measurable improvements in patients previously given no options." The pathway I'm offering you today is fundamentally different than what you probably currently provide. Instead of managing symptoms, you'll identify and address the actual causes of cognitive decline. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, you'll personalize treatment based on each patient's unique factors. Instead of waiting for progression, you'll implement a proactive protocol designed for prevention and reversal. And the best part? You can implement this in your existing practice with your current patient base and create a powerful new service that few others in your area offer. Before we dive deeper, you should understand the scientific foundation behind this approach. Dr. Dale Bredesen was the founding president and CEO of the Buck Institute for Research on Aging. His laboratory research over 30 years has focused on the mechanisms underlying neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, leading to the first successful reversals of cognitive decline in Alzheimer's disease, published in 2014, 2016, and 2018. The Bredesen protocol is based on over 3 decades of Dr. Bredesen's laboratory research and hundreds of peer-reviewed publications that uncovered the biochemical mechanisms behind Alzheimer's disease. This isn't fringe science. It's cutting-edge research published in peer-reviewed journals and backed by clinical evidence. Here's what we'll cover in the remainder of our time together: the fascinating story of how this protocol was developed, the science behind cognitive decline, why conventional approaches fall short, real case studies showing the protocol's effectiveness, what you'll learn in our comprehensive training program, how to implement this protocol in your practice, including financial considerations, how to get certified and begin changing lives. By the end of this presentation, you'll understand both the science behind cognitive improvement and know how to implement this approach in your practice. The RECODE protocol came after 30 years of research. For decades, research had been searching for a single drug or intervention that could treat Alzheimer's, resulting in over 400 failed clinical trials. Dr. Bredesen took a fundamentally different approach. After years of laboratory research, he realized something crucial. Alzheimer's isn't a single condition with a single cause. It's your body's protective response to multiple brain insults. Working in his lab for over 20 years, Dr. Bredesen was initially hoping to find a single biochemical solution to this debilitating disease. But as he studied the underlying mechanisms, he came to understand why that wasn't possible. He began to realize that Alzheimer's is like having a roof with 36 holes. Patching just one hole, the approach of most drug trials, would never stop the damage. Instead, you need to identify and address all the contributors simultaneously. This insight led to the development of a comprehensive protocol that evaluates and addresses dozens of potential factors contributing to cognitive decline, from inflammation to nutrient deficiencies and hormonal imbalances to toxin exposure. With this revolutionary approach in hand, Dr. Bredesen began successfully preventing and reversing cognitive decline, and Apollo Health was formed to make this protocol accessible to practitioners and patients worldwide. The mission was clear: transform the approach to Alzheimer's from hopeless management to effective prevention and reversal. Apollo Health created a software algorithm that applies the Bredesen protocol, utilizing participant data from health history collection, medical questionnaires, laboratory testing, and cognitive assessments to create a personalized treatment plan that both prevents and reverses symptoms of cognitive decline. This isn't just a theoretical approach. It's a practical, implementable system that you can bring to your patients. Let's discuss the science of Alzheimer's. To understand why the RECODE protocol is effective, you need to understand the true nature of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. Dementia takes on different forms based on the individual contributors. Dr. Bredesen describes 6 subtypes of Alzheimer's disease. Type 1, inflammatory, which includes those with the APOE4 genotype, in which inflammation is driving the disease process. Type 1.5, glycotoxicity, has aspects of type 1 and type 2 as it combines sugar toxicity with insulin resistance. Type 2, atrophic, is characterized by reduction in hormonal, vitamin, nutrient, or growth factor support. Type 3, toxic, is caused by exposure to toxins combined with the reduced ability to detoxify. Type 4, vascular, is caused by reduced cerebral blood flow. Type 5, traumatic, is caused by head injuries when trauma leads to long-term changes to the brain. These types aren't separate diseases. Many patients have contributions from multiple subtypes, especially those with genetic risk factors like APOE4. What's crucial to understand is that cognitive decline isn't simply a matter of bad luck or inevitable aging. It's the body's response to specific insults and imbalances. This is where the 36 holes in the roof analogy becomes powerful. Each patient has their own unique pattern of contributors. One might have significant insulin resistance, chronic inflammation from oral bacteria, and mercury exposure. Another might have hormonal imbalances, sleep apnea, and nutrient deficiencies. Addressing just one of these factors will never be enough, just as patching one hole in a roof with 36 leaks won't keep your house dry. This is why the first step in the RECODE protocol is what Dr. Bredesen calls a cognoscopy, a comprehensive evaluation of multiple potential contributors to an individual's cognitive decline. This includes a volumetric MRI, genetic testing, thorough cognitive testing, including a Montreal cognitive assessment, and extensive laboratory work examining inflammation markers and other key indicators. This evaluation enables the development of a truly personalized treatment plan that addresses each patient's unique combination of factors. something that's simply not possible with conventional approaches. Now that you understand the true nature of cognitive decline, it becomes clear why conventional approaches have limited effectiveness. This standard pharmaceutical approach has several fundamental limitations. It targets symptoms rather than causes. It focuses on single pathways instead of multiple contributors. It offers the same treatment to patients with very different underlying issues. It intervenes too late, after significant damage has occurred. It does not take into account early prodromal symptoms. Think about it. How could a single drug possibly address dozens of different potential contributors to cognitive decline? It'd be like trying to fix a complex electrical problem in your home by only checking the circuit breaker. The truth is, like you, most health practitioners genuinely want to help their patients with cognitive issues. The problem isn't a lack of caring. It's a lack of effective tools and approaches. When a patient presents with cognitive concerns, the conventional toolkit is extremely limited. Basic cognitive testing, perhaps a scan, and ultimately a prescription for medications that, at best, temporarily slow the progression. That's why so many practitioners feel frustrated and helpless when treating these patients. They know they're not really solving the problem. Now, this raises an important question. If the Bredesen protocol is so effective, why isn't it already standard practice? The answer isn't some grand conspiracy, but rather simple economics. For most forms of dementia, there are currently no treatments that can reverse cognitive decline. There are medications approved by health authorities that can help manage symptoms, but none that address the fundamental problem. The pharmaceutical model is built around patentable, highly profitable, single-agent drugs. The RECODE protocol, by contrast, uses a personalized combination of lifestyle interventions, nutritional approaches, and targeted supplementation, none of which are as profitable as proprietary drugs. This isn't to vilify pharmaceutical companies. They provide many valuable treatments, but their business model naturally favors certain kinds of solutions over others. You're watching this because you want to actually help your patients improve, not just manage their decline. You're looking for approaches based on effectiveness, not just profitability. That's where Apollo Health comes in. Let me share with you some real-world examples of the RECODE protocol in action. Consider the case of Francis McNear, an author who began experiencing significant cognitive decline. In his own words, "I honestly believe the protocol saved my life." After implementing the protocol, he was able to recover enough to write a book called Defeating Dementia: My Story from Alzheimer's. Another powerful example comes from a practitioner's perspective. Dr. Anne Hathaway implemented the protocol in her practice and worked with a 67-year-old patient who'd been struggling with progressive memory loss for 3 years. After 6 months on the protocol, the patient showed significant improvement in cognitive testing, was able to return to complex activities she'd abandoned, and reported feeling like herself again for the first time in years. The practitioner noted that this case transformed her entire approach to cognitive health and greatly enhanced her professional satisfaction. These aren't isolated cases. A landmark peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, entitled Precision Medicine Approach to Alzheimer's Disease: Successful Pilot Project, demonstrated these results in a clinical trial. The trial, led by Dr. Bredesen, included 25 participants aged 50 to 76 with MCI or early Alzheimer's. Each patient underwent comprehensive testing for markers of inflammation, infection, insulin resistance, protein glycation, vascular disease, nocturnal hypoxemia, hormone imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, and toxin exposure. The results were remarkable. 84% of participants improved their cognitive decline as measured by CNS vital signs. 76% showed improvement in their MoCA scores. 84% demonstrated improvement according to their study partners. And brain MRI volumetrics showed preservation of brain volume compared to the expected decline. Most importantly, These improvements were documented using objective, standardized cognitive assessments, not just subjective reporting, and no serious adverse effects were recorded during the 9-month treatment period. Beyond the clinical data, consider the emotional impact of offering real hope to patients and families who've been told there are no effective options. Imagine the professional satisfaction you'll feel when you actually see patients improve rather than watching them decline. And consider the word-of-mouth effect when you become known as the practitioner in your area who can actually help with cognitive decline. Now, let's talk about how you can bring this approach to your practice through our comprehensive training program. Apollo Health's Recode 2.0 practitioner training provides you with all the tools you need to manage the care of patients with cognitive concerns, including identifying the specific drivers of cognitive decline and developing a treatment plan using the Bredesen protocol. This isn't a superficial overview. It's a comprehensive course on both the science and practical implementation of the protocol. The 3-month program consists of 36 hours of comprehensive education, covering assessment protocols, how to properly evaluate patients with a cognoscopy, the 6 subtypes of Alzheimer's, detailed understanding of the 6 subtypes and how each contributes to the disease process, and how to turn each one around. Personalized treatment planning, using the Recode software to develop individualized protocols. Implementation strategies, practical guidance for incorporating this into your practice. Case management, how to monitor progress and adjust treatment as needed. The training also includes specialized modules on crucial topics like bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and its role in cognitive health, environmental detoxification in addressing chemotoxins, the critical connection between oral health and cognition, genetics and how genomic factors influence treatment approaches, advanced imaging, including volumetric MRI interpretation. You'll learn directly from Dr. Bredesen and other experts, ensuring you receive the most current and comprehensive information available. Upon completion of the program and passing the certification exam, you'll receive official certification as a Recode practitioner, listing in the Apollo Health Practitioner Directory for patient referrals, access to the Apollo Health platform and resources, ongoing updates as the protocol evolves, membership in the practitioner community for case discussions. Of course, the financials also matter. Let's talk briefly about the return on investment for your practice. Implementing the Recode protocol creates multiple revenue opportunities. New patient acquisition. You can differentiate your practice with a service that few others offer. Comprehensive initial evaluations. The cognoscopy process involves multiple billable components. Ongoing management. These patients require regular follow-up and adjustments. Ancillary services. Depending on your practice model, you may incorporate nutritional counseling, supplementation, or other complementary services. Many practitioners report that adding this protocol not only helps patients, but also significantly enhances their practice's financial health and professional satisfaction. Now, let's talk about how you can join this revolution in cognitive healthcare. Our Recode 2.0 training program is specialized depending on your professional background. For medical and dental practitioners, the training costs $1,999. For health coaches, it's $1,247. This includes complete 36-hour training program, certification exam, and ongoing access to resources and community support. Seats are available now, and spaces are limited to ensure quality instruction and support. To secure your spot, simply visit recodetraining.com. Select the appropriate program for your professional background. Complete the registration process. Remember, Bredesen protocol practitioners are in high demand, and the specialized knowledge and expertise provided by Apollo Health will position you perfectly to become a leader in the field of treating, preventing, and reversing cognitive decline. In closing, I want to leave you with this thought. Every day, people are being told that cognitive decline is inevitable and irreversible. You have the opportunity to challenge that narrative and offer real hope based on solid science and documented results. You can be part of transforming how we approach one of the most devastating health challenges of our time. I hope you'll join us on this journey. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to welcoming you to our next training cohort. If you still have time, here are answers to some common questions. Is this approach compatible with conventional medical treatments? Absolutely. The RECODE protocol can be used in conjunction with conventional treatments. It's complementary, not alternative. How quickly do patients typically see results? This varies by individual, but practitioners report noticeable improvements in 3 to 6 months, with continued progress after that. Can insurance cover any components of this approach? Many of the diagnostic tests and some interventions may be covered by insurance, depending on your practice model and the patient's coverage. We cover this in detail in the training. Is this only for early-stage patients? The program is most successful when used as prevention or in early stages of cognitive decline, including early-stage Alzheimer's disease. Expectations should be tempered when beginning the program later in the disease process, although improvements have been observed even in those mid to late stages. How is this different from standard brain health recommendations? While the protocol includes common brain health recommendations like exercise and diet, it goes far deeper with personalized assessment of dozens of potential contributors and targeted interventions based on each individual's unique pattern of issues. Get the answers to all your additional questions when you visit RECODEtraining.com.